A lot of you guys mentioned that you struggle with consistency. You struggle with motivation. What you have to realize is motivation is internal, man. You're never going to find additional motivation. The bottom line is this. A lot of people think that my life or fit people's life, and when I refer to a fit person, I mean, I'm just saying, somebody that's at a healthy weight, lives the fit life, and that's just part of who they are, right? That's who I am and what I stand for. Yes, I have a six-pack. Yes, I'm proud of it, but I'm not here to sit here and pat myself on the back. Here's the catch, though, and I've done a couple of videos about this lately, is that what you've got to realize is that the overweight and tired life is a hard life to live, right? Like, you guys know that if you're overweight, you feel sluggish, you don't have the energy, you do lack motivation on a more consistent basis when you're overweight because you don't have the energy. You start dealing with low back pain, you start dealing with low energy, low libido, whatever that looks like for you, low everything, right? But what I want to also emphasize is that the fit life is just as hard. So getting to the gym on a consistent basis, eating a salad when you don't want to eat a salad, embracing the struggle when you don't want to embrace the struggle. Both lives are hard. There is no easy life, okay? What you have to realize is if both lives are hard, you need to choose your hard wisely, okay? You can either choose the hard, that's the overweight life, and then you're going to have health complications that catch up to you. You're going to end up paying more for medical bills long term. You're going to end up seeing a doctor on a more regular basis. You're going to give all this money back to doctors and hospitals when you can attack it on the front end and take action now. Okay, I recently did a podcast. If you guys have not checked out my podcast, I highly encourage you to do so. For any of the females that are listening that will eventually listen to this, go listen to episode 15 with Natalie Jill. Natalie Jill is a very prominent fitness, we'll call her a fitness influencer, fitness professional. She's got over 1 million followers on Facebook, close to 500,000 on Instagram. The lady came on my podcast and just dropped straight fire for men and women. And she talks about your driving core motivators. She calls them DCMs. That's very close to what I describe as your why, okay? If your why is strong enough and you have discovered, thanks Nicole, she was awesome. If you have discovered your why and your why is strong and powerful enough, then you can overcome just about any how, right? You get up in the morning, you know you need to get to the gym and you don't want to go. Well, guess what? Your why will outweigh your desire to not go to the gym. Bottom line, when you have that discipline and you have that ingrained into your mind that needs to become who you are. A lot of you guys are in here to level up with your finances, have that accountability, have this community feel to help take you to the next level with your career path, your entrepreneurship, your business, whatever you're doing, right? Your drive to make more money is obviously there. Your drive to level up with your finances is obviously there. Your drive to get healthy and become the healthiest version of you must be at least equal to your financial drive, if not greater. And I will tell you why. Because here's the thing. When health is your number one priority, and that is who you become, that is the lifestyle that you choose to live, it becomes like clockwork to you. It is a very mindless, thoughtless process. Because these habits become instilled into your mind, and that's who you are. That's the life you live. So I will tell you right now that I don't have to put a lot of thought into my grocery list. I basically have it memorized. I don't have to put a lot of thought into my fitness plan. I know what I'm going to do when I go to the gym. When that is who you become, it doesn't take up much brain space in order to implement these things into your life, which then means you're living a healthy lifestyle and you can put most of your focus on leveling up with your finances, leveling up with your relationships, leveling up with your group, as in this group, keeping your network tight and having a high level people to be around. Those are the things that you want to have to focus on. But when you let your health go and you let yourself get to a place where you become overwhelmed, then you must realize that you got to take action now before it becomes too late. Okay, so if you're not taking action right now, I highly encourage you to do so. Here's the thing. I interviewed a retired NFL player yesterday, okay? And he was on Tuesday. Today's Thursday. Yeah, Tuesday. He was telling me, I asked him what his best advice was for anybody who's struggling to get started, or anybody who hasn't taken action yet, or anybody who can't get consistent, right? He gave me a 2-part answer, and I'm not going to share the first part. I'll let you listen to the podcast. But the second part really resonated with me because I feel strongly about the second part of his answer, which was, it was very simple. And I told him, sometimes we have to break things down to the elementary level in order for them to make the most sense. Some of the most powerful things that we talk about are broken down to very simplistic steps. But as humans, we like to try to overcomplicate things. We want the technical answer. We want the answer that's very complex. And that's not always the case. So he says to me, on the second part of his answer, he says, if I could give anybody any advice when it comes to your health, take action before you have to. And I thought about it for a second, and I'm like, that is so freaking powerful. And it sounds like a 4th grader said it. Take action before you have to, or take action before you're forced to. The last 2 words that you want to use in the same sentence are health and regret, okay? When you get diagnosed with high blood pressure, and you get diagnosed with high cholesterol, and you get diagnosed with even worse, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, you are now going to become dependent on medications. Maybe not for the rest of your life. If you overhaul your health habits, you can reduce or get off of those medications. But what I'm urging you to do is take action now before you end up on medications. Because once you get on medications, it becomes a vicious cycle. This is where doctors, hospitals, insurance companies make their money. We throw a Band-Aid at the health complication or the health condition, which is in the form of a medication. Doctors don't have time to spend much time with you anymore. Their time is so limited. They are overworked and getting to the point where they're underpaid. They don't have time to sit there and talk about nutrition. They don't have time to sit there and talk about exercise. They don't have time. Those might be the things they highlight, but here's the catch. There are 4 foundational pieces to your health. 2 of them don't get talked about enough. One of them is a killer, literally, and that's stress. So the 4 main components of your health are obviously fitness and nutrition, which you guys know about, but stress management and sleep. Those 2 things don't get talked about enough. And when I'm talking about some of your answers to the questions, some of you guys were talking about how you just can't wake up in the morning to get to the gym. And then I go and read about, and I forget who it was, but you guys are telling me you're sleeping 5 or 5.5 hours a night. That is not going to cut it. I'm telling you right now, no matter how much you read or convince yourself that you can get away with under 6 hours of sleep a night, the shit ain't happening. I'm going to tell you why. Okay, this goes for men and women. When you start to get less sleep than 6 hours, and I'm not even encouraging to sleep 6, I need at least 6.5, closer to 7 hours to function at my optimal rate, we'll call it, for lack of a better term, okay? When you're not sleeping enough, it is a stressor on your body. So it goes into that same category as stress. So when you're running on fumes all the time because you're staying up till 1 or 2 in the morning working on your business stuff, you must realign your priorities and get to a strict sleep schedule, because that's priority number 1. When you think about it, the human body is supposed to sleep close to 8 hours a night. If you do the math, obviously there's 24 hours in a day. That is 1/3 or nearly 1/3 of our lives that are supposed to be spent sleeping. If you don't see the value in that, then you need to do some soul searching. Because I will tell you this, and I'm going to speak from experience here. Not long ago, and some of you guys know the story, but not long ago, I overhauled my entire morning routine. I never bought into meditation, never did anything, never did any gratitude journaling, no nothing, okay? And when I overhauled my routine, let's say it was 3 or 4 months ago, I felt so much better, and the impact that it made on my life was so huge that I decided to make a specific online course just around the morning routine, because I felt like it could help other men and even women completely change their lives, because that's what it did to me. And if you don't believe it, you have to try it, okay? And these aren't things that you can do once or twice. If you go meditate 1 or 2 times in a week and you come back and you say, hey man, I tried, it didn't work for me, you didn't commit.